Hello everybody, so in this Polysketch tutorial we'll make a quick and simple little rock with what is, I guess, a magic tome maybe, and some fancy gems on the side. So starting right in, I'll create a new poly shape, and I'll turn on snapping to start because I want to make sure and have a real nice flat base on this in case I want to 3D print it or something like that later. And using this, I can make sure that as I draw these points, you can kind of see they're all lining up on the same plane, so they're going to have the exact same height. I can still move them around a little bit, just get about the right shape that I'm looking for, and I could always just turn off the snap if I really want to, or as you saw me do there, select one individual point, and then only that point will be used for snapping. So that makes it just a little less fidgety where it's trying to snap to so many points. And once I have that pretty well, I'll turn off snapping and then move right on. So I'll extrude the main face upward, scale it in a bit just to kind of have that rock shelf change size, and I'll cut an edge right where I want to do this. So I'm extruding another chunk. Now I have sort of a stepped platform, and I'll just rotate and kind of scale and move these chunks around to give them a bit more interest. Creating rocks is a bit more difficult than you might think at first, so don't feel bad if it's tough to begin with. I found that a really good way to start with these rock sort of shapes is add in a bit of detail like this, where you just sort of cut some general shapes into a surface and pull bits around until you have some cracks and cuts in it. It starts to make it feel a little more real, and just reach in, move those points around all the time, really finesse it. It's really easy to do in Polysketch. I'll also add another little cut over here and kind of pull out the bottom. I'm just trying to make this anywhere I can like appear as well, not feel like it has too many hard straight edges. So I'll cut in these little chunks here and there to just break up those, I think, less organic lines. Maybe push that one inward a bit, and just kind of there's always room to tweak these a bit more, as however I might need to. And it's looking pretty good. Good rock to start with. Don't want to take it any further in this tutorial. I think trying to keep it real simple. I'll create a new shape, and now what I'm going to do is start building up with a fancy bright purpley pinky color. Start building up those gems or whatever they might be on the side, the crystals. So I'll just draw out the basic profile of that on the bottom, maybe fix that up to be a little more round, and then extrude it straight upward. Scale that so I have a second sort of loop, and then scale the very top in, but I'm just gonna collapse all those points to get a nice pointy top to the crystal. And there it is. So I can maybe fix that a little bit more, and then in object mode grab it and scale it down, and I'll start setting these around where I want. And I'll also change them up a bit each time. Oops, missed my grab. So I'll set one here, just duplicate one over to there, and a third one maybe a little larger, put it right about there on the side. I'm thinking they look nice kind of in the cracks of the rocks here. I can make them a bit different, of course, just reach into one or two and maybe give some of them like this just a longer bottom or a sharper top. Anything to kind of get that variety in, which really helps, and it's so easy to do in Polysketch, no excuse not to, really. And up in this area, I think I want to add a bit of a shelf, so I'm just going to cut into the rock surface here, real easy, like pull back that face a bit. Looks like I need to add some extra geometry to kind of force in that shelf here, and that'll allow me to place more of these crystals, give them sort of a nice little home here. I'll smush that down a bit, make it look a little different. Place it, duplicate, etc., and just keep adding these. Quick and easy, make them different. Not trying to think about it too much. That's important here, is, you're not trying to be precise. Just make something fun and quick and easy for a prototype, for something for a D&D kit, who knows. Lastly, so I'll go up to the top again. Oops, save. That's important as well. Always save if you can. We do have an autosave, but just in case. Anyway, create a new poly shape, and I'm going to set this color to something sort of like, I don't know, brownish for the cover of the magic tome or whatever it is. And I'll draw in just a simple square. I'm really going to cheat in this tome, make it really simple. Extrude that upward, and then I'll cut a edge right across the middle-ish, pull it up a bit, and then in object mode, kind of just shove this down, or scale it up a bit and then push it down into the rock so it looks like it's just sitting on there perfectly. Then create a new shape. This is going to be the pages of the book. Again, just super cheating it, make it real easy. Good for poly count and for just moving along in a quick prototype. And I'm going to draw the bottom profile of the page, which I'll extrude afterward, but first just kind of setting up. I get really simple. You can see I just go right across the bottom. Who cares if it's going through the other thing? Won't be seen, so it's good. Fix it up a bit so it lines up with the book cover, and then I'll grab that entire face and just extrude it right backward so that I have basically pages to a book. Real simple. A few adjustments, grabbing some of these points and edges and trying to make sure they fit pretty well here. A few tweaks here and there. And maybe also to the tops, just trying to make these feel a little less clumpy there. And that looks pretty good. Real quick and easy. That's one of the best ways to get most game dev done. Quick and easy for sure. Until you need to be perfect later. Then I'll change some of these colors. I just want to have a bit more variation, so I'm just grabbing one or two at a time. And I like to just drag around on the hue slider there. Don't usually need to worry too much about saturation. If I'm just making some quick variations, just dragging the hue will do quite a bit usually, just enough. And that'll get me a nice complete visual here. So hope you enjoyed that. Real quick and simple. Let me know if you end up creating something like this. Okay, see you on the next one.